Have you ever wondered why it's so much easier to offer kindness to a stranger or a friend than it is to offer it to yourself? We are often our own harshest critics, speaking to ourselves in a tone we would never use with anyone we actually cared about. This internal dialogue creates a rift in our self-perception, slowly eroding the foundation of our self-respect. But what if there was a simple psychological trick that could flip this dynamic on its head? What if you could trick your brain into treating you with the dignity and value you truly deserve? Today, we are exploring the third-person observer technique, a powerful psychological tool designed to bridge the gap between how you treat others and how you treat yourself. This isn't just about affirmations or positive thinking. It's about a fundamental shift in perspective that changes the way your brain processes self-worth. By the end of this video, you will have a practical roadmap to reclaim your respect and stand tall in your own life. The core of this trick lies in psychological distancing. When we are caught in the middle of our own problems, our emotions are loud and overwhelming. We feel the sting of failure and the weight of insecurity personally. However, when we look at someone else facing the exact same situation, we see things with much more clarity. We see their effort, their humanity, and their potential. The third-person observer trick asks you to imagine that you are not the person living your life, but rather a dedicated guardian or a mentor responsible for that person's well-being. Imagine you are tasked with looking after yourself as if you were someone else. When you wake up in the morning, instead of thinking, "I need to get up," think, "What does this person need today to feel successful and respected?" This slight shift in language, moving from I to he, she, or even your own name, creates a mental space that allows you to act with more logic and compassion. Research shows that people who use third-person self-talk are better at regulating their emotions and making decisions that align with their long-term goals. Respect is built on the foundation of boundaries, and this trick makes setting them much easier. Often, we let people cross our lines because we don't want to cause conflict or we feel our own needs aren't important enough. But if you were the guardian of a dear friend, would you let someone speak to them disrespectfully? Would you let a boss overwork them until they collapsed? Probably not. When you view yourself through this external lens, your protective instincts kick in. You start to see your time, your energy, and your emotional health as assets that must be defended. You begin to realize that saying no isn't an act of aggression, but an act of stewardship over the person you are responsible for. This externalized perspective removes the guilt that often comes with self-advocacy. You aren't being selfish, you are being a responsible caretaker. As you begin to hold these boundaries, the world around you begins to respond differently. People treat you with the level of respect that you demand for yourself, reinforcing the cycle of high self-worth. Another critical aspect of self-respect is integrity, the act of keeping promises to yourself. Every time you tell yourself you'll go to the gym, start that project, or eat healthier, and then fail to follow through, you lose a little bit of respect for yourself. Your subconscious mind starts to view you as unreliable. To fix this, use the future self variant of our psychology trick. Imagine future you as a separate individual who will inherit the consequences of your actions today. If you skip that workout or procrastinate on that work, you are effectively dumping a burden onto someone else. Conversely, when you do the hard work now, you are giving a gift to that future person. By viewing your future self as someone you care about, you build a relationship based on trust. You start showing up for yourself because you wouldn't want to let a friend down. Over time, this consistency builds a powerful sense of internal pride. You realize that you are a person who does what they say they will do, and there is no faster way to gain self-respect than through proven personal integrity. Finally, we must address the way we handle failure. Most people use failure as an excuse to beat themselves up, which only serves to lower their self-respect further. Using the observer trick, look at your mistakes. As a scientist would look at a failed experiment, a scientist doesn't hate the chemicals for not reacting. They analyze the variables and try again. When you fail, step outside of yourself and ask, what can this person learn from this? What support do they need to do better next time? This removes the shame from the equation and replaces it with constructive growth. Respecting yourself doesn't mean being perfect. It means being a supportive ally to yourself even when things go wrong. It means recognizing your inherent value is not tied to a single outcome, but to the persistence of your character. As you practice this daily, you'll find that the voice in your head becomes quieter, kinder, and much more powerful. You will move through the world with a quiet confidence that doesn't need external validation, because you have already provided it for yourself. If you found this perspective helpful and want to continue mastering your mindset, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below sharing one way you're going to show yourself more respect this week.